I'm not giving you anything. If I give you a toy, you're just going to throw it on the ground the entire time.
She says, yeah, well, that's what I add to this party. That's what I bring to the game.
Chaos.
It's chaos. It's just open your heart to chaos, says this sweet little pointy dog. Oh shit, are we still recording?
Oh, we are recording.
No. Well, still?
Guess so.
It's been like way more than 12 hours.
It has been.
But I'm mentally still there.
Oh, yeah.
Mentally, we're still in the moment.
Yeah, I don't even really know. I have a lot of notes and things to say about last night's session. I guess we'll just walk through it.
Absolutely. Friends, listeners, it was an emotional haul last night.
It really was.
It was an emotional lift, but we did it. We got there. There was a lot of ups. There was a lot of downs.
A lot of downs.
A lot of downed.
Yep.
Several many times.
Yep.
But they had us in the first half.
Yeah. Well, so we finished our combat. We picked up at our combat. And what had happened was the Fallen, which is this creature's name, or as we know him, collapsed to the cave around us to trap us in there with him after he propositioned Galileo to help the betrayers, since he was not a part of the calamity and helping and things last fight.
Yeah. Just come be a baddie.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. So he trapped us in the cave, knocked 3 of our 6 party members unconscious.
A solid half.
Including you, Phoebe, who was concentrating on a stone wall
to keep him away from us.
Correct. Stonewall then fell. Knocked Galileo down, which was obviously a problem, and then knocked Greymore down. And so it was just Sylvie, Raj, and Runeberg that were up. And so that's where we're starting. We kind of got the implication at the end of last session that we probably need to call for reinforcements.
Somebody needs to call their dad, or mom, come pick us up.
We're not scared. We're not having fun anymore.
I'm not having fun, and I'm very scared. Please help.
So we did
several times.
We did. So we started out. The first round back was good.
Yes,
it was good. I think we started with. I actually don't remember who we started with.
I think we started with Runeberg.
Runeberg.
And he was like stabilizing himself with his cool arm.
Yep. I don't really remember.
I don't know what else he did though.
I don't either. I don't remember if I think he tried to hit him, or did he bring back Terrainberg? I don't really remember. But it was shortly after it was my turn. And Sylvie used her channel divinity to abjure the extra planar, which is kind of like turn undead for my paladin subclass. Yes. Oath of the Watchers.
That was that was clutch. That was a clutch move, and I was so fucking excited when you did it.
I thought it doesn't say they're frightened. I really thought it did, but it doesn't say they're frightened. They're just turned. So basically, he can't come any closer to us, which is good because Galileo was on the other side of me on the map.
Yeah.
And I was really just trying to as soon as he takes damage, he's no longer turned.
Yeah.
But we just needed a minute.
Just go away for a second.
Yeah, just leave us alone. We did unfortunately rule. So then I did a bonus action to try my insightful fighting, which I rolled a natural 1 on. And then because I had to present my holy symbol for the channel divinity, I also called Fire Daddy, aka Xerxes, and said, hey, we could really use your help right now. And I had to roll an Arcana check and rolled a natural 20. So it was a very much...
the dice were beautifully balanced. I've got to say that.
They were. Because there was also, before that, Mans did something with... He did something with the guy, with the Fallen.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what his natural 20 was.
The natural 20 was
So it wasn't a hit.
no.
I don't remember.
Did he just like roll the dice and then because like I don't know, but like he did also get a 20 and then a 1.
He did.
So
we did that, and then Raj was up next, and we did talk to Mans about the long trip, when to prepare spells. Oops, can we check on those again? And he was a very kind god, and he let us, those of us who can change spells after a long rest, reevaluate. So Raj, our grave cleric, did reevaluate. Did pick up some healing spells, and then went ahead.
Kick-ass grave cleric shit.
He did. So he did a few cool things. The first thing that he did on that turn was mass healing word, which can get all 6 of us. The ones that are at 0 got max healing, and then he did have to roll for the rest of us. And he did upcast it, so it was a little extra healing, which was good. I mean, having everyone up was a good solid start.
For a second.
Mans was a kind god and gave you a turn.
Yeah, that was technically supposed to be my death save, which after the fact, I guess I can say, rolled a 17. So like,
oh great,
we're cool. We started off okay with the death save.
Yeah. And we do roll our death saves in private now.
Yes.
We like that. We think it adds a little more suspense to it.
It adds pressure. It adds suspense and pressure. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Because it's like when, as someone who has played a cleric and someone who has played a druid that like has healing spells, like it does take a little bit of pressure off, and like it's not supposed to, because you as a character don't know. You're not supposed to know like what is going on in the unconscious body of this creature.
No.
But if I hear someone verbally say, "Oh, I rolled a 19 on my death save," they go from the top of my like priority list to like third.
Yeah.
Third.
Yeah. You're just like, okay, you can wait another round, which is not what your character would do. And so I like the immersion of it.
Me too.
I like the immersion of it. That was what happened before my turn, as Galileo was before me.
Yes.
And he was unconscious. He had to roll a death save, and then Mans texted him something in private about something else. Is that when he rolled a 20? No.
No,
that doesn't make sense either.
Is it for the wound that Runeberg would have theoretically placed upon him?
That may have been it.
Yeah.
That may have been it. You're gonna have to watch the replay when that comes out. And so so you got your turn.
Yep. And on Phoebe's turn, like thinking, because my brain was already like worst case scenario, like we're gonna need someone to come pick up our bodies.
Oh, like, and Raj also asked the RQ, the Raven Queen, to come and be a part of this.
So we got the call out to Xerxes. We got the call out to the Raven Queen. And Phoebe was like, well, we're on our way to the Twilight's Accord. Might as well call them too, just in case, because like they're known to patrol those waters. And I was like, maybe if they've got a ship around or something, then maybe like if we do all die, then they can come pick us up and we'll be fine. But called Victor, who is one of the heads of the Twilight Accord, just like, hey, SOS, we're in trouble. And then bonus action, healing worded Galileo, just to try to keep him like, he needed all the HPs that he could possibly have. Yes. Because the Fallen was doing truly egregious amounts of damage.
Yes. I mean, a normal hit was like 50 to 60 points. And then crits obviously were double that. Yeah. One thing I did want to mention that I thought was really interesting is that when Raj did his healing, he actually used green energy.
Yeah.
That was very reminiscent of Phoebe's. And we talked about that last time. Was like Phoebe's like green nature magic, and then Raj's magic. What did you think about that?
So I think that's like, we're going to get into a subject that I'm not going to be able to stop talking about. So it's really interesting that like green energy to me reads as like nature magic and life magic, but there's also that like fell in there, but less so fell and more so death is a part of life. Yeah. Like theoretically speaking, it's all one thing. Yeah. And so it's part of the cycle. Death is part of the cycle, but he's using this green, deathly, like black and green magic to like bring people back. And I think it's fascinating that green reads as life, even if it is the life that is a part of death. And I don't know how to say that more eloquently, but
yeah, I mean, like Raj is a witch doctor type character.
Yeah.
And I mean, but that like has very like swampy vibes. It has very like, you think of like Cajun swamp vibes, and that's kind of what his character is based off of. I mean, green in of itself, and I think like I wish we could get a little bit more like technical, but it's hard in game and everything. But like, I think the type of like the shade of green,
yes,
is very important. Like, is it ooze? Is it poison? Is it tree green? Is it grass green? Like, what kind of green is it?
Do spells have smells? Do spells have smells?
I've never thought about that before.
There you go. Let's bring all the sensory bits into it, because
why not?
It could be like
Probably.
Raj's magic smells like swamp water.
Maybe.
And like bracken. Not the bracken, but like bracken, you know? So like it's kind of like oceany. It's got that salty tinge to it, but it still has the life of the mud at the bottom of a bog.
Maybe.
And like Phoebe's being the green of like the smell of like when it snowed last night, or it snowed in the last couple days, and just because like it is snowing outside, but then you walk outside and the sun's really warm and it's warming the grass and everything smells very green and fresh and like new. And so like maybe not to infer on other people's magic smells, but
I never thought about that. But that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a really interesting like callback.
Yeah.
Especially like, I don't think anyone else does green magic, because Greymoor's purple.
Yes.
Galileo is mostly purple, but I feel like he does.
I thought it like his lightning is green.
Is his lightning green too?
In the counterspell that he used later, it was green lightning. I am 99% sure.
I believe you. I just don't remember. But I also think he chooses different colors. I don't think he sticks to a color scheme.
No.
And I've never described any of Sylvie's magic as having a color.
Huh. What color would it be if you had to?
I don't know. I mean, I think my like gut instinct is like red, but at the same time, like protection from evil and good. I don't know. Is it all radiant?
I don't feels very like white in the center, yellow on the edges, or maybe orange on the edges to me. But that's just, I'm inferring again.
Yeah, I don't know. My gut instinct was red.
Yeah.
From all the other, she's got red skin, and from Xerxes being a devil, or, now he is. But like from all those like connotations, I always just kind of picture as being red.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That
could be evolving.
Yeah. Well, and that's actually another point, like, we'll get to that at the very end, like, has Xerxes' symbol changed?
Yeah.
As he's trying to be redeemed or freed from the pact with Asmodeus. So, but that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. The natural 20s was another one, but I cannot remember. I can't remember what Mans's 20 was. But then
Mans, we're casting sending, and we need you to text us. What happened?
What happened? Well, the natural 20s were wild. Galileo had a natural 20. That was on his counterspell.
Yes, it was.
So as the Fallen was turned by Sylvie, and Raj got some healing off, you got some healing off, then it's Greymoor after you guys. He ended up not stabilizing, which meant he took full healing from Raj's spell, which was good. And then he got up, and I believe before then, the Fallen did a legendary action.
He did.
Because we weren't really sure with the wording on it with legendary actions if the Fallen would have to run away or if he could take a legendary action.
And his legendary action knocked me down again.
It did. He threw a finger of death at you, and knocked you down again. Greymore went and swung, and I was like, "That's fine." Like, I just wanted a little bit of time to buy us, and so swung and hit him, missed him once, hit him once, and then it was back to the Fallen's turn, and then that is where what did he try to do? That he got
He took a whole bunch of opportunity attacks. I do know that because he moved out of y'all's space and moved straight towards Galileo. Right?
Yeah, but when did he counterspell him?
No, you're right. He was trying to cast anti-gravity or whatever it is.
Yes, that's what it was. Mm-hmm. He was trying to cast anti-gravity, and so we all had to make dex saves.
Yeah.
And that's when Galileo counterspelled him.
Yep.
Rolled a natural 20 to counterspell him. And so none of us had to do that, which was good. And then after that is when he marched on over to Galileo.
Just
laid into
real
him.
Bad.
Laid into him. I mean, Galileo only had 30 hit points max at that point, and a normal hit from this dude is 50 to 60.
Mm-hmm.
So Galileo went down.
Galileo went super down.
And then he went to go take a second strike on Galileo, which would be an auto crit. Raj used his Grave Cleric ability. I don't remember if it's not Path to the Grave, but it's like Sentinel at Grave's Door or something like that. Where if you're within 30 feet and you can see a creature, you make a crit a normal hit. And so any of the crit things. So it's an auto crit, but Mans was kind and ruled that could count based on the wording of it.
It's still a crit.
It is a crit. Yeah. And so it didn't say, rolled a natural 20. It said a crit. So anyway, regular hit. So it took one death save.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he used a legendary action and did it again.
Did it not go one more round? And then we get to the top of the round and he was going to swing at him?
No, because I could have gotten him up.
Mm-hmm.
Raj could have gotten him up. And so it was before me and Raj ever went.
Right.
I think Runeberg was the only one who got a chance, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did another legendary action swing. It only took one.
Mm-hmm.
Auto crit again, no reaction because it didn't get back to Raj to get his reaction back. Yeah. No one could heal him. And then he went and basically auto killed him.
Yeah.
Now, this is where things got really interesting.
This is where, and the reason that I think that, I thought that there had to be another round in there is because that session felt like 1,000 years. It felt so long. I'm like, no, there's no way that we only did a round and a half of combat and then it popped off. Nope. There's no way.
And we were 100%.
We for a second there, we had the Fallen on the back foot.
We did.
I
don't even think I got to swing my whip once. I was ready, didn't get to because we were just trying to heal and get back up, and that was it. I was going to smite him. I was ready for it. Didn't get to do it.
I got to punch him one time, and then I was unconscious for the rest of the fight.
Yep. I mean, wow. Yeah. So Galileo died.
Galileo did super die. He actually killed him.
And so I guess part of the conversation that Mans and Bill got to have on the DL was basically that Galileo has 119 of the 120 shards he needs to become a god.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically was like, I assume that there was some sort of discussion about what would happen if he pushed and tried to enter godhood, not having all 120 shards.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mans basically said that on because again, Galileo is an automaton.
So he has a readout.
With the Luxem in his chest. And so he said that on your screen, you're seeing a warning, basically that you were not prepared to do this.
It was like a flashing rune. And I could see the readout so clearly in my head, and it's the inside of the mask, and it's just red lights are flashing.
Yeah.
And it's listen, you can hit this button.
Yep.
You can only hit this button one time.
Yep. And Galileo hit the button.
He super did, and he ascended to godhood for one turn.
One turn.
His
hit points went from 58 to 1,180.
Mm-hmm.
his, or 59 to that, because I guess it was times 200 or 20. And then he
got access to all the spells.
Yep. All spells, 9th level, 8th level, whole shebang. And so basically he
action surge.
Yeah, he just did it.
Yeah.
I don't even it just happened. He just did it.
Yeah. He's a god. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So he basically he did 2 spells. He did imprisonment, which I've never heard of before. So he imprisoned the fallen. He basically took a handful of the dirt, crushed it into his hand, made a prismatic crystal, and bound the fallen to it. And it lasts until it's dispelled.
It lasts forever.
I think there was a wisdom save for it, but because he's a divination wizard, he had a portent die left, and he said, nope, he rolled an 8. And that was a fail.
Absolutely.
And so that was that.
He forced a failure, and that's so good to me. He in Lux and God mode just shut it down and said, no, you don't get to try. You're mine.
So he did that, and then he cast Wish to give us all a long rest. And so we all healed. He basically crunched like a can that you stomped on.
Mans described it as like the black hole opened in his chest where the Luxon was and just started pulling him in on himself. And oh my god.
The other thing that was really good is that right after the fallen had killed him, he basically reached into his chest and started to try to rip out the Luxon.
He was going for it.
He was. And then that's when he ascended to godhood and
don't touch it.
So then he died.
So then he died.
Crunched can being warped on in there, and so we all got basically. Well, so then right after he was done with that, you could see Xerxes showed up, basically trying to pull the fallen back, not out of the crystal, but from attacking Galileo.
He was holding him so Galileo could hit him. That's how I saw it in my head.
I can see that. Yeah. And then the Raven Queen popped in and caught Galileo as he fell. And so
that bitch,
she's holding him, and then we all got our turn, and basically in our own ways, Sylvie rushed up and held his head and yelled at him that, you are a god. You are the Luxon. You are the god of reincarnation. You cannot die.
This is literally your thing.
If we believe in you, you cannot die.
Exactly.
And just kind of kept holding his head and looking into his eyes that aren't functioning and saying that to him. And Raj is basically trying his best to revivify him until his hands are bloody. And then Phoebe came on up and was kind of supporting and trying to pull his crunched body,
chest cavity back open, because the RQ came in. So Raj was trying to revivify. The RQ came in, and the revivify didn't seem to be working, which is what I got out of it, or what I got from it. And it's the RQ was like, okay, I'm gonna cast resurrection on him. So the Raven Queen herself said, no, I'm gonna fix this one.
Well, and technically
that's her brother.
So, I guess not really.
Adopted brother. But family's family, man. Found family's just as family is family.
She doesn't know him the same way.
No. But oh no, that's actually a really interesting little boop boop boop, because the RQ wasn't the OG.
Nope.
A lot of letters here. But so the RQ was not the OG god of death. So she would not have known the Luxon.
She probably would have known of the Luxon because they're
going to tell stories about him.
And the Luxon is a well-known deity in the Kryn dynasty, but he was not a part of the calamity, so he did not form that bond with her. And yet she still did it for him. So she said that she's casting a ritual resurrection, but she needed all of our help, so we all had to help with that. We also do in our campaigns for resurrection or revivifies, there is a role for them. We kind of follow the critical role standard where it's typically a 10. DC's 10 for the first time you're being revivified or resurrected, and then +1 for every time before that. So if this is your second time, it's an 11. And then basically the DC lowers with a successful check from a party member trying to help bring them back.
Yeah.
So we each got to help in that. And overall, we had successful rolls. So I did an investigation check, basically just like investigating Galileo and giving her all the facts and like the books that I have that include the Luxon and like all the things that we've like talked about and the details about him. Rolled a 24 for that one, so good on that. Runeberg did something really beautiful.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
like
I know.
he just the fact so instead of summoning Terrainberg to show the Raven Queen like who Galileo is to him, raised a ship out of the earth and then raised a visage of Galileo out of the stone of the stone ship, and then raised a visage of himself, Runeberg, out of the ship, and they're steering the boat together and captaining together, and like that just the way he described it was like the pottery from the beginning of Hercules, and that is so evocative and beautiful to me because like you can see it and you can see them like moving, and it just having that in the room too is like no, like look how much we love him. Look.
That was really, really nice. And he ended up doing a survival check to like teach him how to sail, and he rolled a 20 for that total. Raj had blood on his face and bleeds his life force into his energy. So he like takes the blood that's on his hands and like holds the Luxum and tries to just hold the light and bring more energy in that way, and kind of just tried to focus on the energy and the arcana that is Galileo. He rolled an arcana check for that. He got another natural 20. He got advantage with the RQ being right there, and he rolled a natural 20 for a 27 on that one. And then Phoebe
came in with like focusing really on how like the light in Galileo's chest has always been this warmth to Phoebe, and like kind of just focusing in on the warmth of him and like trying to like figure out a way to like encourage that into like stoking a fire. That's kind of what I was going for, is like how do you stoke this fire and keep this hearth burning. And one of the things that the Raven Queen had said was like, you have to offer something, and Phoebe has a single piece of saloon, like a chunk of the moon left that she keeps with her to cast her spells, and she just kind of like laid it on the center of the light in his chest to maybe just like encourage, like, I'm with you and I will give this to encourage, like there's power in it, and maybe like calls to like, and maybe this can call that power out and call it back and keep it safe. And in doing so, so circling back around a little bit for context, Saloon got exploded a few sessions ago.
Well, the moon got exploded.
The moon got exploded, and Saloon got grievously injured.
Yes.
But the as Phoebe does this and is channeling kind of, I did a nature check.
You got a 15.
Yes. Not as cool as a 20.
But we don't know. But we don't know what the success failure is.
So, and in doing so, like kind of casting Saloon's magic into the Luxon's chest, and the Raven Queen acknowledges Phoebe, but not Phoebe acknowledges past Phoebe, is what I got. And it's like, I hear you, my child. You're faint, but you're there.
Yeah, you're far, my child, but I hear you.
So like Saloon is still out there.
We knew that.
I want to believe.
We knew that.
Yeah.
We knew that.
We knew that.
Gods don't die. In our D&D universe, gods don't die.
Even if they're killed by another god? Is there a finality? Like,
not that we've seen.
Not that we know yet.
Not that we've seen.
Cool.
So and then Greymore was last. and he did another really beautiful,
Oh
like,
my
just I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but just a
God. An homage, a word picture.
yeah. And so he telepathically shows Galileo next to each version of Graymore. And so, kind of like one of those, I don't actually know what those picture wheels are called. We looked it up. It's called a Viewmaster. So he basically took like a telepathic Viewmaster where each image was a different version of Graymore, because Graymore has a split personality. He's got 6 different personalities. We don't know all of them yet. But basically, it just shows how Galileo was by his side throughout all of it and supportive and helping him and just being overall a good guy.
Yeah, a positive presence.
Yeah.
For each of the grimoires.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was really heartwarming to see. And unfortunately, he did roll a natural 1 for that, but it didn't make it any less beautiful on our part. And so Mans rolled.
Mm-hmm. Don't know what he rolled.
Don't know what he rolled. But there was a popping sound.
Yeah. It was quiet for a second, though. And, like, when Mans rolled and I looked at his face, I was like, oh, no.
I wonder if it was close.
Like, I don't know, because, like, he rolled and I watched his, like, he went, and I was like, okay, that doesn't feel good. And, like, I watched him try to, like, brace himself for a second, and I'm like, I don't know if he's trying not to, like, celebrate and, like, keep a lid on it, or, like, I did not feel good about what he rolled in that moment.
Yeah.
Just, like, watching him react to it and him being like, the runes fade and there's a silence. And I'm like, oh,
hate that.
He's gone. Shit.
Yeah. And then Galileo's body was just being popped back open.
Mm-hmm.
The Raven Queen closes his chest, says a prayer, and vanishes.
Just leaves. Dipperooskies.
I mean, never has that ever been more of an RQ moment. Yeah. Or, like, just her style.
She says, I came in. I did my job.
Bye-bye.
And not even her job, though. Like,
no. The opposite of her job.
She went out of her way to do that.
The opposite of her job. And that's where we ended it, with a level up.
And a level up. We get a level up.
We get a level up. So.
Level 6 spells.
Yeah?
Yes.
Nice. So we get a level up. There are a few other questions that remain, a few other things I want to talk about.
Yes.
One, and this is really just kind of pondering, which I guess is what we do here. I really want to know if Xerxes' symbol has changed, if his appearance has changed, if that changes anything for me.
Yeah.
So I'll be super curious about that, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the level up. I want to talk about how we discussed if this is going to be our villain arc or not, because I think we should talk about that. And then let me see what else I had in my notes. Okay, I didn't have anything else in my notes. So I don't really have too much to talk about with the Xerxes thing. I'm mostly just curious. So for those of you, we like Critical Role around here a lot. So we follow a lot of Critical Role, like lore and characters and, all that kind of stuff.
We're very invested in it.
We are. Particularly, and I know this isn't, it is Critical Role, but it's not Matt Mercer. We love Calamity.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. And so Xerxes being the champion of Asmodeus is something that we do kind of stick with and is canon in our world as well.
Because it's delicious.
It is delicious. And part of our twin backstory is that our mother had a deal with, I guess it was technically Asmodeus, but Xerxes didn't really feel like it was fair and basically kind of came to offer an alternative so that she, and therefore we, didn't get tortured in the hells forever. So Sylvie ended up making a deal with Xerxes to kind of help prevent that. And so now he is her, not patron, but he's the source of her power for her paladin spells.
Her paladinic power.
Sure.
Feels good.
Sure.
And like I almost wonder if he hadn't made a breakthrough, if he hadn't had made progress, if you would not have been able to reach him because of Asmodeus. I don't know, and this is me speculating wildly.
I have no idea. So the moment that the ninth obelisk happened, that all the betrayers got their thing, and that the great calamity started, Xerxes basically like fought against Asmodeus and has been fighting his deal with him that he's had for the last 2,000 years.
Yeah.
And so he's working with Jazz, who's one of our C1 characters, and Mads to try to break that. And they've been working on it for the last year. So I don't think it's broken, but I wanted to know, like, the symbol on Sylvie's hand that marks her deal with him is a pentagram. And so I don't know how that's changing as, Xerxes is changing, and he's got this very devilish look to him, even though he was a human before. And so seeing kind of all of that will be really interesting. So I have a feeling he's probably going to look more like his human self, but I don't know if he's going to get like, is he going to get like stuck in between? So he's going to have like half looking more like an aged human version of Xerxes, and then the other half still devilish with the horns and things. I don't know.
Or maybe just like a little bit softer.
Maybe.
Because like we're tieflings. Xerxes was the first tiefling.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea. That's not ever.
Gotcha.
I don't think that's ever stated.
Okay. I don't know where I got that. I don't know where I'm getting that, but like I had it in my brain.
We're gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
We'll do some research on that and get back to you about that.
Because like in essence, like that's what he is, right?
Well, I guess that depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Because the book as written, like tiefling, has either descendant of demon or devil, or made a deal with demon or devil. And so he did make a deal with Asmodeus. So yes, is he the first? I don't know.
And like I don't know where I got that information.
But that's a very good point. I never actually considered him a tiefling, but he would be.
He is.
Interesting.
He's a big one of us.
Maybe he'll keep it because he's been a tiefling longer than he's been human.
Exactly. Or like just, take it down a little bit. Because like we don't look inherently hellish. Like,
I mean, my skin is red, and I look very much like our.
You look more like Mom than you do Dad.
Yeah.
But you don't. You're my sister.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna say you look inherently hellish, unless it's a compliment, and then I'll say, you know what I mean.
I mean, we have the horns that are the same shape as. It's not Aaron, how do you say it? Aaronese, thank you. I'm like, I always say it wrong. I can't get around it.
I heard them say it in Baldur's Gate one time, and I'm like, are you kidding me? But like, it doesn't matter how you pronounce words.
No,
it's however you pronounce them.
Yeah, but because they have ram-shaped horns, and I believe they have feathered wings, because we had this discussion.
Yes.
Previously, and so, but our wings are not feathered.
No, they're just I also don't think that our wings are big. Like they're just like little frills. Like they're because in my brain, like they look.
It's just a feather.
There's one feather on each wing, and it's at the very tip. Or we have like down, because like if you look at like a bird's wing under the feathers, like it's fleshy. So maybe it's just like it's baby feather wings. So like they have like weird downy protrusions.
I'm going to ponder on that, because I don't hate that, but we have never once discussed it.
No.
But considering at least Sylvie's post-apocalyptic vibe is very much like no sleeves. Like I imagine whatever kind of tiny little wings we have stick out somewhere, which is kind of hilarious.
Phoebe has always worn a halter top that her back is out in.
That's true. She has.
So like they're there, and like I cannot wait to bring them into not functionality.
Sure.
They have a different function that we'll see later. That's a fun surprise.
Oh,
for
all of us.
I hope I get to use it.
That'd be cool. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the first thing. So we'll have to see what happens with Xerxes in that. That would be sick. I still think that, and this will be a whole other thing too, but I still think Xerxes is a perfect candidate for the Paladin Oath of Freedom.
Yes.
You went with freedom, right?
Oath of Liberty.
Liberty, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Our own homebrew paladin, and by our own I mean Bill's and yours,
Yes.
but primarily
mostly
Bill's.
Bill's.
Homebrew paladin oath. And so since Xerxes was initially a paladin anyway and didn't have a god to begin with until he tried to redeem Asmodeus, now he doesn't have a god again.
And that's like that is the entire makeup of
Oath of Liberty.
The Twilight's Accord.
Mm-hmm.
Be your own person. Your power comes from within you.
So I love that. And I can't wait for that. And while that doesn't apply necessarily to Sylvie, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I am really excited to see how that works.
Any kind of Twilight's Accord breadcrumbs we get, and maybe it's just because like it's a thing that I made, and I want to see more of it. I'm like, please give me a little bit, because like I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it again. I'm excited to get to talk about all of the different like buildings that I've put in it, and like the different.
And you guys haven't told us anything.
It's going to be I hope it's a cool, fun surprise. I hope it's a cool, fun, beautiful.
42 sessions in, over a year later. When are you guys going to show us this shit?
When we get there.
We've been there.
I know. And like,
we were there.
Mans didn't give me the opportunity to talk about it in that like, okay, talk about what you've done in the last 100 years. He was like, okay, you're here and now you're at the sanctuary of Bahamut. And so like I didn't feel like there was a good moment to like, be like, okay, we're at the Accord. We're still at the Accord, and I'm going to talk about it. Because he was like, nope, you're at the Sanctuary of Bahamut. I'm like, we'll get there when we get there. It's okay. And I think I just haven't felt the door open.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But that's just a me thing.
One day.
I digress. We'll get 4 days. Because we're 4 days out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except, speaking of the level up.
Pretty sure we're 6 days out still.
Because we did go off course a little bit.
Well, it was day 4.
It's a 10-day journey.
Yeah, but that's fine.
I flipped it in my head.
It'll get finagled. Level up.
To level up. So, fun fact, as a level 6 druid, I now have level 6. I have 6th level druid spells.
So you're level 11 because you're sticking with druid.
Yeah. Until I can get a little bit stronger.
Sure.
And then, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Mm-hmm.
I now have transport via plants. So we could just get there.
Oh, that's
so
great
we can just
news.
Go.
Oh, that's great news.
But we also have to get Gizzo off the boat.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You mean like, yeah. Well,
we could just get out of this cave.
Rosh can just walk on water.
Yeah.
Let's walk on water. Go get him, and then we can just walk through a tree.
We can just step out. But like I saw that and I got so excited. I'm like, we don't have to be on a boat anymore. But
we did learn what we've been rolling on the D100s for.
I need you to explain that to me.
So what Mans has done.
I know what it is. I don't understand the numbers.
Yes. So what Mans has done is, because of the Great Calamity, the Divine Gate, I think the Divine Gate's still up.
Mm-hmm.
But the gods are on this side of it now.
Yes.
Because they're on this side of the Divine Gate. Speaking of spells having a smell, clearly I think they do, because basically the gods are tracking us. Specifically, the betrayer gods are tracking us. And so when we cast spells that use, really, I think they can track any of us.
It's any spell. Because we're all using something that looks a little bit divine.
Right. Even though yours technically is Luna and not a prime deity, and I'm technically using Xerxes' magic, which is
a betrayer, but
he had magic before he was part of Asmodeus, because he was a paladin then. But anyway, all that to say, they can basically smell our magic.
Yeah.
And so what happens is the higher level spell that you cast, so we're rolling a D100, both low and high, you have to roll in between your spell's level. So if you are casting a level 1 spell, you can't roll a 1 or a 99. And if you do, they know exactly where you are, and something big, bad, and terrible might happen. Like they might just show up. So I think the closer you get, the better read they can get on where you are. But if you roll exactly within your level, high or if you roll within the spell's level, high or low, the betrayers can find us
So
instantly.
like 9th level spell would be like a
1 to
100
9.
minus 100 minus 9.
So you either have to, if you roll, so yes,
Okay.
if you cast a 9th level spell,
yes.
Basically if you roll on the D100 a 1 through 9 or a 91 through 100.
Oh, wow.
It is both.
Okay.
Either edge of it, either side. If you're in there, so I think what happened was Galileo cast, no, you cast sending. Someone did a third, you cast sending. Because that's what you did to get to the message to Victor. But then, I know what it was. Yep. Galileo cast Counterspell,
yes,
which is a 3rd level spell. He just cast it 3rd level. He rolled a D100. He rolled a 96. If he had rolled a 97, a betrayer god could have just
would have showed up.
And Man's made it very clear he's not going to be nice if it happens.
Like if we do that, we're dead.
So I think we must have rolled that number the first time, and that's why Uk'otoa, or really close to it, and that was like our warning and our threat.
Because what I thought was happening was like it was building up towards a threshold. Like it was like all of our rolls were like building up towards a threshold, and like it pushes it past, and then it resets it. But nope, it's actually just. It's far scarier than that.
Correct.
Actually.
Yeah, it is basically, but if we hit that number, something terrible can and probably will happen.
Asmodeus is going to roll up and kick our teeth in.
Yeah, we'll just,
that's it. Like he's going to give us a swirly in the toilet.
Forever.
Forever.
Forever. That's it. That's what Asmodeus is going to do.
Yeah, it's forever swirlies.
Forever swirlies.
And that's our first merch.
Second merch. Sorry, Lindsay.
Hey! No, that didn't happen and it doesn't exist.
You even said on the episode I just edited, there may be t-shirts.
There may be t-shirts that I didn't ask for, but I saw Matthew designing them.
That's true. So, okay, anything else on the level up? I think I know what I'm going to do with my level up.
Okay.
Because I'm a level 7 rogue and level 3 paladin. Yeah. And so I was looking because, I mean, level 8 and level 4 don't really give me anything in particular. So and both give me an ability score improvement, which is great because, like, no matter which one I choose, I'm getting an ability score improvement. And I love that. I don't know what I'm going to use it for yet. But I looked at level 5 and level 8 or level 9, and level 9 in Rogue gives me an ability. It's specifically your subclass. And so I'll get an ability that if on a turn I use no more than half of my movement, I will have advantage on wisdom or like perception or investigation checks.
Ooh.
Which is cool, but maybe that'll be really helpful.
Okay.
So if I put 2 levels into Rogue, I'll get the ability score improvement. I'll get that. I think it's called like Steady Eye, but basically like if I don't move very much in combat, I can get advantage on like investigation and perception, like we're a lickety split.
Okay.
And so I think that will be maybe helpful.
And that's not part of your insightful fighting. Is it part of your insight? Okay.
It's not.
Because if it was, that would be sick.
Yeah, it's not. And so I do think I would have to use my action for it. But I'll double check that real quick. And then the paladin, so 4th level ability score improvement, but 5th level I'd get a second attack.
That'd be nice.
So that's kind of hard to ignore.
That'd be really nice.
I won't get any like spells or anything else major on that, but Steady Eye at 9th level, you get advantage on any wisdom, perception, or intelligence investigation check if you move no more than half of your speed on the same turn. So it's still my action to do that. But yeah.
But that's okay. Like that would be a cool action to take nonetheless.
It would be. And I think 5th level, I'm double checking right now, but I want to say 5th level paladin, I think, is when you get a lot of stuff. So I am checking real quick to see paladin. Hi. It is just extra attack because then 6th level is when you get aura of protection, which is kind of a ways away because that's 3 more levels, and I don't know that we're going to get 3 more levels, but I feel like that may be helpful. When you are a friendly creature within 10 feet of you must make a saving throw. The creature gains a bonus of the saving throw equal to your charisma modifier. So I could bump my charisma, get better on my spells, and then like give us some more protection when we go in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like that might be, I don't know.
Like the pally's feeling really good.
It is. I think that's the way that I'm going to go with it. So we'll just have to see. And then I think that's the last thing that we kind of wanted to just touch base on.
Yeah.
Is would we have gone on a villain arc like if Galileo was killed?
Because like what would that look like? What would it look like if it's like, okay, well, Galileo's kind of like our, I'm not saying that he's like the goal right now. I'm not saying that he's the linchpin to the Calamity to Electric Boogaloo, but like kinda, a little bit,
Kinda.
and we are traveling with him. And I just, well, first of all, like he's kind. Like Galileo is very kind in a very like Iron Giant way, for lack of a better term. Like,
yeah,
that's all he knows, man.
Yeah.
So like we would have lost that part of the party, and like that's kind of like the focus.
Yeah.
Currently, and that's what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what do you do if that goes away? What do you do if the thing that like you are hinging your success on?
Well, I think we just go blow it up.
Yeah, no, like we're just gonna go do it ourselves.
Yeah, I think we would just like focus even more on just like, okay, great, I'm gonna blow this shit up then.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that that's what it would have been. It would have been the same rest of the campaign, but with no feeling, with a lot of hatred, and probably a lot more cigarettes for our characters.
A lot, like, dude, I was thinking about that on the way over here. I'm not even fucking kidding. I'm not kidding.
That was so funny.
Because like there are, and I can't wait to bring this into the campaign. I'm so excited for it. But like I feel like maybe like, because so for instance, mugwort and rue are herbs that can be smoked to induce like a state of divination.
Okay.
Supposedly it kind of like loosens your brain up a little bit and allows you to like reach out farther.
Okay.
So like Phoebe making smokables so that she can try to reach out to Saluna.
That I'm honestly surprised we haven't gotten there yet.
Well, that's where we're spoiler alert, that's where we're going. And I just like that was my thought on the way over here. It's like that would be, because like the herbs thing and like the tea thing, like I love it and I love making tea. Yeah. But like how can that evolve with Phoebe? How can that evolve with the character?
I love that.
And like make it more like, and how can I tie it into like, reaching out to Saluna and like seeing if I can't like empower myself. Yeah. In like a ritual space.
You're doing like the it's like the old oracles of like Greece that would like inhale the fumes and then they would have exactly that. They would have visions.
It would, yeah, like that's the direction.
Hilarious.
A lot more cigarettes though.
I love that. A lot more cigarettes. We'd be cigarette heavy if
a lot more drinking. Everybody's real mad all the time. Yep. And like it's going to be really interesting to see the whole party as opposed to the party minus Galileo get to the Accord. Because the party plus Galileo, that's one scenario. Yep. The party minus Galileo is a whole other ball game.
You know what we would probably do? Although the only person in our party who will know that Cygnus and Victor have a shard is Galileo.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if we went there, and because I don't even think Galileo knows.
Nope.
Not that we're aware of.
He
has like, it's like proximity.
Yeah, he got the bing when we were in Hexendrum. We're at the peace talk. Yeah, we're at the like he got the while we were there. So theoretically speaking, when you bamfed to the Twilight's Accord,
but he would not have known what that feeling was then.
No.
But maybe if he circled back around because he's a robot, so he can remember everything.
No, he knows.
Maybe he'll go ahead and he'll know.
Yeah.
But if he hasn't told us, if he has not told us, and Galileo had died, and we went to the Twilight's Accord, we basically, I feel like what Sylvie would have been striving for would be to get the Luxem back. Like, if I have to kill every god in my path to do it, fine.
And it's like, oh, Cygnus would grasp that and feed her and raise her as this champion of fuckians.
But if you guys didn't tell us that you had the last shard and let us do that without letting us know, burn the Twilight's
the whole Accord would be gone
down.
But that would be, I feel like that would be part of it, and I feel like that would not be, gambling chip is not the correct word.
But if that happened, the parallels between Cygnus and the Raven Queen and their arcs, near perfect.
Near I hate how similar they look.
Only if that happened. That is one possibility. But that's what I imagine that's what I see it going.
Yeah. Like that would have been, and it's so tasty, and I fucking can't wait to RP it out. And I'm so glad that Galileo lived, because it's like I have scripted the questions in my head.
Sure.
For like what that conversation is going to look like, how we start it, the middle bit, the whole thing is here and ready to go, because like that is but like, and I'm glad that Galileo is alive, but it's always fun to play with possibilities. It's always fun to like investigate, like, what does that look like? We all went in to last night's session fully expecting for no one to survive. I did. I did. I want to say
I didn't, because I just can't. This is not a challenge, Manzioni.
Hey, buddy.
But I don't know what his plan would be if we all died.
Yeah.
Now.
Like, what would he do?
Right.
But is there someone else to pick up the flag and carry it? What is the flag after that?
You know what, though? This is not encouragement, Manzioni.
Not even a little bit.
But I can imagine being like, listen, now you all have to create new level 11 characters that also has motivation. And man, we could come up with that, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Like I was playing with my backup character. I was like testing like a Swarmkeeper Ranger.
Yeah. With
like her swarm is mushroom pixies.
Yeah.
Just an idea.
Yeah.
And like but anyway, ooh, it's so tasty.
Yeah, Hattie wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, so no double mushroom.
No, that's true. That's true.
She doesn't care.
Heidi having a great time somewhere else.
Loving this.
It's chaos.
Loving
everywhere. It. She's got so many bodies.
Oh my god. They're all just like raised up in like the mushrooms, and like she's having the time of her life.
She's having tea parties.
Absolutely.
With like dead towns.
Oh, whole absolutely.
Towns. Yeah.
Just like the next phase of life, like we talked about. That's Heidi, and I'm here for it another time. But
another time. I also thought about Nerissa again last night too.
Yeah.
Even though she's time-wise,
it's a made-up world. The time can fit however we want it to. But yeah, it'll be fine. But yeah, I think that I'm glad, although I'll be curious, like you said, you're glad, of course, that Galileo is alive, but playing with the possibilities.
What does that look like?
For who?
For everyone.
Well,
for the world at large.
I've already told you what I thought would happen with Sylvie, but just like leading the party to like, just encouraging. I mean, she would just blindly like walk in and try to like blindly find out where the Luxem is being kept, and that would be her goal, and she would definitely die in that process.
Yeah. At the Accord? No, because they would have taken it. And yes, I understand. Oh yes, absolutely. It's like we're just gonna go get him back.
Yeah, to Gordranus.
We're just going to we're skipping this part. We're turning the ship around.
No,
we're gonna go get him back.
I feel like we'd probably still go to the Twilight's Accord, because Jace is the one who specifically said they have a plan, but they need Victor and Cygnus to do it. And so whatever that plan is, she would go, because she's angry, but she's not stupid.
Yeah.
Like, she's going to go in with the best plan that she can. But her goal while she's there, while it's yes to, bring the betrayers down and defeat them and whatever, is going to be to get the Luxon back.
And like with an entire army of clerics and paladins who also don't really like the primes or the betrayers. It's like you've got backing there. Like you've got support. And it's like, so sure, you want to lead this charge? We'll lead it.
What would it look like for Cygnus though? Not having that redemption arc.
Not having that redemption arc.
Or having that, but having also more easily. I'm sorry to interrupt you. But Absolutely. Not that you don't have the redemption arc. The redemption arc is still a possibility.
Yeah.
But then it's not, like, it's kind of hard to avoid the redemption arc with Galileo staring you in the face going, no, I can see my last shard is right there or wherever, assuming it's there.
It's in your pocket.
Right. Like, it's hard to ignore that, but having a much more easy path to go down a different road. What does that look like for Cygnus?
So, like, there's the two sides of the coin, because Cygnus is to me like there are no more rails. The rails are gone. And that would be like a little bit of a power trip. And not even like that would be the power trip that might tip her over the edge. Like, oh, you've brought me a party that just wants to take them all down. Welcome to SEAL Team Sig.
Yeah.
And we'll do it together.
Yeah.
We'll do it together. And then we'll keep going. You know?
Yeah.
And like, that would be fun if everyone was on board with it. But like, I want a soft ending for Cygnus, and I don't know how to get there from where I've put her. Like, I don't know how to get from where she is to that.
Yeah.
It might not be possible, but that's fine.
I think it is possible. You just have to want it to go that way.
Yeah. And like, but like, without Galileo, like without the party being like, hey, like, you have to do this. It'd be like, oh, you want this? And like takes it out of her pocket. It's like, you can have it, but I need your help. And you can even have this one shard. Just stay really close to me at all times. Because that's how it works. Because with the Luxon, the whole thing is like proximity. And it's like, you can carry it around with you, but I need you to be near me.
Well, you guys have the other backup plan.
Well, yeah, but this one's a lot more permanent.
Sure.
You know? Like the other plan can only work so many times.
Can it?
I think so. Like, you can't res someone who's died of old age.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It can only work so many times.
Sure.
With the Luxon, it just keeps working.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
But that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Cygnus is someone that you have not met yet, but we'll hopefully meet soon.
They will.
She's fun.
Maybe next time. Maybe the time after.
We can just tree stride.
We can. That's
we,
true.
We can just go. But I want everyone to be on board with that. And I also don't want to like take away Man's sea journey.
Well, also it's just, if it's a 6th level spell, it's 12% chance that you roll.
Ooh, yes.
To where a betrayer god is. To a betrayer god coming to us.
So. The ship is mostly safe. So like, do we want to take that chance one time and get there really fast, or take that chance over this many more days?
That's the question we'll have to ask the party. I like it.
I like it. I like where we're at. I can't wait till next week. I'm really glad that we played on Tuesday instead of Monday, because that means that the time between D&D last night and D&D next week is way shorter.
It's true.
It's like a whole day shorter.
It's true.
Let's go.
And we have to level up in between, which means we have to talk about and spend more time doing D&D things, which you know how much we obviously
do. No, I have to do my favorite thing. Shoot.
The last thing I'll say, or if you're done with are we still recording part yet?
Yeah.
The image, because I haven't had a chance to say this yet, the image that is in the background is AI art, which I do not necessarily support, but I wanted something on the background. So magic print, something like that, some generic AI, just for credit where credit is due. I would much rather support an artist, but I really wanted to get videos out, and so I used the convenience of it instead. But yeah, I think that is it for now for us. We will be back shortly. We've got a few things on the horizon that we're working on, and I'm really, really excited about, and so we'll work on those. But thanks so much, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out in our brain space with us.
Yeah.
It's a fun place to be. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
At the very least. And thanks for listening. We'll see you eventually.
Eventually.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.